In the headlines, reconstruction of Accra-Tema Motorway to begin in August. Minister of Roads, Akratama, has said. GRIDCo on why major power transmission lines need to be reconstructed. 100 Mercury-free gold processing machines to promote sustainable mining in the artisanal small-scale mining sector commissioned. In Obuasi, 6 firemen are still in critical condition in hospital after their fire tender was involved in an accident on Sunday on their way to fight fire. Vice President Baumudu Baumia cut short for construction of 32 TVET centers. National Service personnel protest over delayed allowances. In Koforidua, the kingmakers today met as part of processes to select a new chief to replace the late new Juaben mine Buaten. We will show you how the COVID-19 active cases are steadily rising in the last 2 weeks. And we'll bring you a video of how this year's June 4 anniversary was marked. Reconstruction of the 19-kilometer Accra-Tema Motorway will begin in August this year, the Minister of Roads and Highways, Akratama, has said. Touring the motorway today, the minister said negotiations are at the conclusion stage of reaching an agreement with a private investor to secure funding for the project.
Mr. Akrata's visit to the motorway today followed a daily graphic publication that highlighted the extent of deterioration of the country's only motorway. The report had hammered on the plan to rehabilitate it and the fact that more than a year that the problems on the motorway were highlighted, nothing new had changed.
In the power sector, the Ghana Grid Company says major power transmission lines in the country will be reconstructed for effective supply of electricity. At a press briefing in Accra today, GRIDCo said 3 major transmission lines in the Western Corridor, coastal and middle lines have all outlived their usefulness and therefore required immediate reconstruction. The Chief Executive of GRIDCo, Ebenezer Kofi Esienyi, gave this briefing today.
If you recall, in our recent past, any time clouds form or it's raining, we know definitely that our lines were going to go off. Well, these were old lines built in the 1960s. They have sagged so much that with any wind, they swing and it goes off. I get excited when it's raining and friends will call me to say, oh, it's raining this time, but our lights are still on. It's a good thing showing that the works that we are doing is bringing the desired benefit. We construct these lines with the hope that we improve on the voltage, increase the transmission capacity going forward. Transmission lines, when constructed, last for a while.
In mining, President Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo today commissioned 100 Mercury-free gold processing machines to help promote sustainable mining in the artisanal small-scale mining sector. The intervention is to help to do away with the harmful effects of the use of mercury for gold production.
The Mercury-free machines consist of a jaw crusher that crushes bigger rocks from 40 millimeters and above by reducing them to 3 millimeters, a milling plant which crushes the particles further into fine particles of about 100 microns, and a concentrator or gold catcher where the fine gold particles are washed and aggregated. They have high gold recovery rate of 90% compared with other methods that do between 30 to 35% of gold. With a gold catcher machine, mining processes such as scrubbing, crushing and milling happen at the same time as a concentrator washes the ore body and recovers both fine and coarse gold.
When I called for a national dialogue on small-scale mining, I was convinced, and I'm still convinced, that small-scale mining can and should be done sustainably. There are several of our compatriots who are mining responsibly and are employing the protocols that have been established by the Minerals Commission, and government will continue to support them, to offer them its support.
In Obuasi, 6 firemen are still in critical condition in hospital after their fire tender was involved in an accident on Sunday on their way to fight fire.
A total of 8 firemen were injured, but 2 have since been treated and discharged. They were responding to a fire outbreak at the Obuasi suburb of Chichire. The driver of the fire tender, apparently unaware of the construction of a bridge ahead of him, ran into a heap of chippings in an attempt to swerve, lost control and drove into a story building. According to some eyewitnesses, the vehicle somersaulted. The police say the contractor on the road placed no caution signs to alert motorists, especially at the Obuasi Stadium Junction where the accident occurred.
In Kumasi today, the Vice President Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia cut the sword for the construction of 32 technical and vocational education and training centers across the country. The Vice President unveiled one at Abrankese in the Bosomtwe district of the Ashanti region.
The various centers are to have training infrastructure and training tools and equipment for 30 trades across 11 industrial sectors. The project is expected to be completed in 30 months and it's being funded by 2 international banks, ING from the Netherlands and BNP from France. Each region in Ghana is expected to have 2 of such centers. Dr. Bawumia said the centers were in tandem with plans by the government to industrialize Ghana.
Some national service personnel today embarked on a street protest to demand payment for their delayed allowances.
We are demonstrating against the government because we are suffering. The reason why we came up with this name is because ever since we started this service, we have known anything than suffering. We did our service for about 3 months and the government does not even pay attention to us.
In Koforidua today, the kingmakers met as part of processes to select a new mining to replace the late Dasibre Emeritus Dr. Oti Boateng.
A business executive based in Germany and introduced as John Kwejo Jemfi was today introduced to the kingmakers. If approved and confined, he will be outdoored and his tool name will also be made known.
Ghana's COVID-19 active cases have seen a steady rise in the last 2 weeks after recording less than 100 cases between April and May. An update by the Ghana Health Service today shows that the country has recorded 62 new cases to bring the total active cases to 370. The public has been cautioned to continue observing the safety protocols where necessary to reduce further spread of the virus. Over the weekend, the Jerry John Rawlings Foundation marked the 43rd anniversary of the June 4, 1979 uprising with a theater performance and a photo exhibition in Accra.
The solemn occasion held at the Ghana Academy of Arts and Science Auditorium was used to remember and celebrate the life and works of former President Jerry John Rawlings, who led the 1979 uprising. The exhibition showcased a documentary and a collection of rare and known photographs taken during the 1979 revolution, which captured the period he served as head of state and later president from 1993 to 2001 and others taken after. This brought a mixture of emotions and memories to patrons of the event. There were also press cuttings from the Daily Graphic during his reign over a period of 3 decades. The curation was managed by politician Fritz Bafo. The event was attended by family of the late president, members of the National Democratic Congress, and former government officials.
Graphic Online's News in Brief is brought to you by Graphic News Plus.
Download your Graphic News Plus now and choose your preferred package daily, weekly, monthly, and annually, and access free news on various interest areas as well. Graphic News Plus, connecting people through news.
Thank you for watching. For more news, please visit our website graphic.com.gh and follow us on YouTube at GraphicGH and on Twitter at GraphicGH and on Facebook at Daily Graphic. I'm Ama Amankwa Befi.